everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another plant video, and the plant in question today is the Syngonium Albo. Okay, so let me show you the plant now. Here I have got this is the Syngonium Albo. Here you can see from the pot. Now this is a very tall leggy plant. So that's one condition about which I'm going to talk here, in addition to a lot more. So now how should I keep the plant? Okay, anyways, for now I'll keep it here. So here you can see the beautiful leaves of the Syngonium Albo, all the variegated leaves. This is a very pretty plant, you can see, and it is just growing, and it has surpassed the moss pole. Can you see here? And it is growing more. So it needs more support now, so that the roots can attach to the support, and then it can grow with proper balance and support. Now today I'm not going to talk how beautiful this plant is, because we already know Syngonium Albo is a very pretty plant. As you can already see here, the leaves, the variegation, it is so pretty. But and also this plant was growing so nicely in my care. As you can already see here, it has grown. The thing is that over time now I have come across certain problems with this plant. Now once again I would like to say that Syngonium Albo is a very easy plant to grow if you give it all the proper care and attention to it and love to it. So that's why, as long as I was giving it all the care that it needed, it had grown, and it had grown how you can see. But lately I could not give it much of my attention. So that's the reason that you can see some of the leaves here, they have started browning and crisping up. Now there are many factors that leads to this situation. Now one of them is underwatering, and I am very much prone to underwatering than overwatering, because it's always good if you underwater rather than overwater, because we all know if you overwater, you're going to cause more harm. It's better, like as I said, to underwater than overwater, because overwatering again leads to root rot and all. So yes, the main situation here is that I know I am at fault of underwatering this plant. And then another thing happened with this is that it was growing very fine, and whoever comes to my place, they start appreciating and admiring this beauty, but suddenly caught mealybugs. So I started inspecting the leaves, and then I saw the mealybugs, and so I had treated the plant for the mealybugs, and now there are no mealybugs. But yes, after the mealybugs, the plant did not quite catch up to the growth that it had before it was before the attack of the mealybugs. Now today what I'm going to do is, since it has surpassed a moss pole, I'm going to chop it up. And as you can see from this node, this point, you can see it has become quite leggy here. So it has become quite leggy, and the spacing of the leaves have become too much. Here you can see at the bottom it looks bushy. Okay, the leaves are very closely situated, but as it was growing up, you can see the spacing has increased. So that's one thing now I'm not liking about it. I want my plant to look more bushy, and also as it has surpassed the moss pole, and you can see it is still continuing to grow without any support, and that is why it is bending this way. So I have to give it more support now. So instead of giving it support, what I'm thinking is I'm going to chop these plants also, because it's not doing so well as I would have wanted. So I'm going to chop it and I'm going to propagate the parts. Okay, now since I'm going to propagate this plant here, so let me start with the propagation tip. So you can either propagate this plant in water or in other medium like sphagnum moss, perlite or leca. But I'm going to propagate this in water because it is a fairly easy plant to grow and it will give out roots. I think so. Then the second factor is light. Now this plant likes to grow in bright indirect sunlight. So never give it direct sunlight, because you can see this again this plant has, this is a variegated plant, so it has got white portion in it. Now because of the white variegation, these leaves or this plant, it needs more sunlight, because again the white portion of the leaves, they cannot absorb more sunlight because it do not have chlorophyll. If your plant has got more green balance in it, that is more green portion in it, then it can do well, I suppose, in lower light. But still I would not recommend you to put your Syngonium Albo in low light. This plant always needs a bright to medium indirect sunlight. So when this, now once again I would like to say, I just remembered that as I've already said, this plant was doing well before, and at that time I had placed this plant in a proper fairly lit place where the sunlight came much better. It reached this plant much better. But after the mealybugs, I thought I am treating this plant, so I had separated this plant from the rest of my plants, because I did not want the mealybugs to spread to the other plants. So I had removed this plant from its original position where it used to get more sunlight, indirect. So that's maybe another reason, since it is not getting that amount of sunlight, the proper amount of sunlight, so the health has deteriorated. That's one thing now about sunlight. So yes, for sunlight, your Syngonium Albo will need medium to bright indirect sunlight. And also you should not let dust or dirt particles settle on the leaves. So that is why you should always keep on wiping the leaves with a microfiber cloth or a wet sponge from time to time, because if again dust settles on the surface of the leaves, then it prevents the leaves from absorbing proper amount of sunlight. And also dust settlement is another what to say, attraction, okay, or it is another factor for pest again. Now since I have mentioned pest, let me tell you what are the signs that would help you to look for pest in your plants. First of all, it is discoloration. If you see any kind of discoloration on your leaves, then it might be pest, not always, but might be. Then the second point is stickiness on your leaves. If there's any stickiness, then you can think that it might be pest again. Then the third one is webbing, any sort of webbing, so that is for sure pest. And the fourth one is sandy residue. If you find any type of residue gathering on top of your leaves, then again it might be pest infestation. So that was about the pest, and that is why you should always from time to time keep on wiping your leaves with wet sponge or cloth. Again, if your plant has more white in the leaves, okay, so again that leaf is not going to survive for too long, because I've already said the white portion does not have chlorophyll, so it's not gonna photosynthesize, and it's not going to help the plant. So whatever whatever number of days that white leaf or the leaf which has got, you know, more white balance in it, those leaves, they survive for whatever number of days. That is because of the green portion of the leaves. The green portion, they keep on you know, photosynthesizing, and thus they help the whole of the leaf to, you know, stay alive for a few days. Now I had here, I'll show you, completely white leaves. So that is one of the situation you face when you have any variegated plant. Okay, so what happens is that the variegation keeps on increasing, and you know, not only increasing, you know, it keeps on changing, okay, here and there. So here what happens is that at a certain point of time, I got a completely white leaf. Not only this one, I had got more completely white leaves which had, you know, fallen off now, and now this is on its way out. So you can see the situation, the condition of the leaf here. So there is not a single spot of green here, and that is why, you know, this leaf, obviously this leaf is on top of all these leaves. So these leaves had come out much earlier than this white leaf, but you can see this leaf is already gone because it had no green on it, and so it could not survive you know, for more than a few days. So that's the thing. Even though the white leaves, they look beautiful, I know this plant, it looks beautiful because of the white portion, the white balance in it. But yes, when the white balance is more, it will look pretty, but it will stay for a few days only, and then the thing will go out. So that's one thing. And then again, when it does not get proper light, the plant, if it does not get proper light, as I have said, don't put it in low light condition, because it will become leggy here like this. The spacing will become more, it will increase more, and it will not look nice, it will not look bushy. So that is one thing why you should not put your plant in low light place. And also you should keep on rotating your plant. Here you can see I did not rotate my plant, and I had just kept it in this position, like this part towards the window or towards the sunlight. So that is why you can see at the back portion there is no leaf here. Okay, so you should keep your plant rotating so that, you know, you get leaves all you know, round the moss pole. Okay, so that's that now about the light. Now watering. So again, you know, watering is very simple here for this plant. You just need to check the top, a few inches of the topsoil, and if you feel like, you can put your finger for like, you know, 2 to 3 inches, and if you feel that it's dry, so that's the time, that's the indication for you to water the plant. Otherwise, just leave it alone, don't keep on watering it. And when you water the plant, okay, when you water the soil, you know, give it a proper watering, give it a proper watering, so that, you know, the excess water comes out through the drainage holes. So that is another thing, your plant, your pot should have proper drainage system. That means the holes, it should be clear, I mean free, so that, you know, the water, it does not stay trapped here in the soil, and, you know, it comes out freely out of the drainage holes. Okay, next comes fertilizing. Yes, you should fertilize your plant, and you should fertilize your plant during the growing season, which is normally the springtime and the summertime. And you should always introduce your fertilizer gradually to the plant. That is, first you should always give it in a small quantity, and gradually you should increase the quantity. Otherwise, you know, if you give it suddenly, if you give a lot of the fertilizer thinking that, you know, your plant will grow well, the growth will be better, no, that does not happen. Your plant will go into shock, and the leaves will get horrible brown or yellow patches. It looks very ugly. That is nothing but fertilizer burn. So that is why you should not, you know, put too much of fertilizer, and you should always read the instructions on the bottles or the packets of the fertilizers. Do not fertilizer during the off season or when the plant goes into dormancy, because it is not active during that time. That means it is not able to take up the fertilizer, the nutrients, and so it will do more harm than it will do good to the plant. So that's about fertilizing. Okay, next is humidity. Now, Syngonium Albo can cope better in low humidity than some other plants. But if you want your plant to look happy, healthy and well conditioned, then you can increase its humidity. It will do it good. The lowest or the minimum humidity that it can tolerate is 50 to 55%. Below that, it will show signs of drying. It will show cracked leaves, then browning tips and edges, as you can see here. Browning tips and edges, as I told you, this is in a very dry condition. My plant is in a very dry condition, so it is lacking humidity, which I am going to look after after those problems now. So that is the thing. Humidity, it loves, like it, there are other plants which cannot do without humidity. It needs like 80-90% humidity. There are many plants in my place, only there are so many plants. So I am like always after humidity, where is humidity? I am trying to bring humidity to my place for my plants, but this is one plant which is very forgiving in this case, because yes, as I've said, it can cope well. It can do good, better in like low humidity. Low humidity means fairly low, medium humidity, like I said, 50 to 55% is the minimum it can do. Then if you increase its humidity, obviously it's going to do a lot of good to this plant. So how can you increase the humidity? Of course, you can buy a humidifier, but humidifier, if you like find it expensive, so you can make your own humidifier at home, like not the exact humidifier, like you can make things act like humidifier. If you group your plants together, okay, if you have a lot of plants, you group them together, and then the transpiration that happens, okay, so that acts like that gives the humidity to the other plants around it. Then you can have this one, pebble trays. Okay, so you fill water on the trays, put the pot on the top of the pebbles, and then again from the water it will get the humidity. Or you can hang wet laundry to dry near the plants, so that way again humidity will increase. So yes, these are, again, one more tip is that you can put pots of boiling water near the plants. Okay, so it will give the water vapor the humidity to the plants. So these are some of the tips you can use for increasing the humidity for your plants instead of buying a humidifier. Okay, so much has been said about the care of this plant now. So let me get to the point for which I had made this video today, that is chopping of this plant and propagating it. So make sure that your shears are clean, so that if you cut the plant, so it's not going to give any infection to the plant. Okay, so here you can see, as I've already said, it's very sparse here, although like it looks bushy at the bottom, but only from the front side. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this vine. Yes, I'm going to cut it in many points, and then I am going to propagate it. And after propagation, after the roots come out, I'm going to put it here to make the pot look more bushy. Okay, so before chopping up my plant, let me just give you a full view of my plant from bottom to the top. So here you can see at the bottom the pot looks full here, and then as it is climbing up, as I showed you this here, you can see the spacing has increased, and you can see here I've got one completely white leaf which has dried up, another completely white leaf gone. Then as it's going up, growing up. You can see as it's finding no support, it's bending. But here again, one it was a new leaf, completely white leaf. There was no green variegation there, so again that's gone. And then here, two leaves. This is one leaf. You can see, so pretty. Here the green color is a little bit lighter. This is the dark green, this is the light green. There is no white. There is white here at the edges. Some parts of white is there. Then here the edges and the tips, they are browning because I have said about the humidity. And then you can see the aerial roots. You can see here, see how they have come out and they are trying to attach to the moss pole here. And here you can see these roots, they cannot find any support to attach itself to. So yes, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut at different points. Okay, so I have got here one node here. Now node is that bump where the leaves, they come and meet the stem. So this is one node here, another node here. I'm just removing this leaf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep two nodes here and I'm going to cut it here. This is another node. Shall I cut one here, one here, one here? Okay, let me try. This is one node. No, let me cut two here. I'll keep two nodes here. Done. So this is one stem cutting which has got two leaves. The topmost cutting here, two leaves, huge leaves you can see, and one new leaf is trying to push out. It's already out, it's left to be unfurled. So it has got two nodes here. Here this is one, another one. So I'm going to put this in water and let the roots come out properly. Then again for the next part. Okay, now for the second cutting, here I'm going to, this is one node, so I'm going to keep one node here and I'm going to cut. Let me just remove the pin first. Okay, so I am going to cut here. So this is another stem cutting. This is the second stem cutting with one node, and the leaf is already gone, but it's okay, fine. And the node will give out the roots. Then roots, they are so well attached that it's not giving out easily. It's not coming out easily. It had actually gone inside. So that's how a plant should attach itself to a moss pole. Now this root, this node also, it had given out all the aerial roots, and the aerial roots had gone into the moss pole inside the moss. Can you see this root? It was growing so nicely at this stage, so you can see how nicely it got attached. This is what I want of all my plants, of all my climbing plants, to whom I give the moss pole. See, really inside this root. I have to cut the netting here or what? It's inside the moss and it has come out this way. Can you see? Okay. I'm just trying to loosen the moss a bit so that the root gets freed up and it comes out. I just don't want to hurt the root. It's very well established, and if I use this for propagation, so it's going to very easily, give out more roots. I think it's a little bit free. Please don't break. It's coming out. You see? Yeah, it's free. Okay, so so you can see the roots are so well attached here, so I'm not going to go more down. So here only I'm going to make three, four cuts here, and I think below the roots are more firmly attached. This is the third cutting I'm making. Now if you can see, there is again no leaf here, only one node. Now this type of a stem cutting is called a wet stick, where you have no leaf and only one node. So this is a wet stick. Then another one here. Okay, so now the fourth one, this with one leaf. Okay, such a big leaf and it's very pretty. So one node with one leaf. This is the fourth cutting. Then fifth one is, you can see there is one node I have, but again there is no leaf here. The leaf is here. What should I do? Let me just take another wet stick. This is a wet stick again with no leaf, one node. This is the fifth cutting, and then this one, can you see? Okay. Next one node, one leaf. Then now I am onto that node which had refused to become free, the root. So this is a very healthy root here. Now if you can see here, I have got this one node with the aerial root. Then I have got this node, the next node here, this whose root is going way inside the moss pole. So I'm not going to disturb this node. So I'm going to cut the last one here. Again, this is a wet stick now. So that's about all the cuts that I will be making for today, and I am left with the bottom bushy part. So let me show you. So here I have the mother plant, whatever is left of the main plant, that is the bottom part, which is the bushy part here, you can see, and the roots are well into the moss. So I'm not going to disturb this part of the plant. And the cuttings, let me show you the cuttings. So I have got here the top cutting. This is the top cutting with two nodes and two leaves and one baby leaf. So this is one stem cutting. This is the second one with one node and one leaf. Third stem cutting, same. Then fourth stem cutting. Here the leaf is not going to do anything for the cutting because it is again white and it's off, it's gone. So this is like, we can consider it as a wet stick. So we have got 3 stem cuttings, then 1 wet stick, 2, 3 and then 4. So we have got 4 and then 3 are 7. So 7 stem cuttings we got today from this plant, and the bottom part is still there. So that's that for now. I'm going to propagate this in water. Okay, so here I have got the water. So I'm going to put the stem cuttings here so that the node with the roots are well inside and they are submerged in the water this way. And okay, one more is here, this one. So this way, and then now for the wet sticks, okay, so it was up this way. I'm going to put this here this way. I'm just checking which way it is. So yes, this way it is upwards. So then the third one is also this way. Now the third one, will it go inside? No, I have to give another bottle for the third one, and I'll have to fill up the water till the top, so that you know the nodes, they are well submerged in water. So that's it. I'm going to put this wet stick in another bottle this way. And so here we have got all the propagations. I have got 3 bottles of propagation because I'm going to put this in a third bottle. So 3 bottles of propagation of Syngonium Albo, and then I have got the mother plant here. Okay, so that's it for today for this video. Thank you so much guys for being with me throughout the video, and it was a pleasure talking to you all about the care and the propagation of Syngonium Albo, which is a very beautiful plant. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please like, share, comment and subscribe. Love you all. Bye bye.